Hi everybody, I'm Lights Camera Jackson and welcome to LCJ Live. Today is Sunday, June 13, 2021. And right now we gotta talk box office because In the Heights has lost to A Quiet Place Part 2. Now it's only by $300,000, so technically it could change tomorrow. But still, In the Heights underperformed based on a lot of expectations, though not all the expectations, with $11.4 million. That counts from Thursday at 2 p.m. to tonight. $11.4 million, losing to A Quiet Place Part 2 with right now $11.7 million. Coming up, I'm going to give you the reasons why I think this has happened, why In the Heights has lost to A Quiet Place Part 2. If you want to send in your questions and your comments, you can. There we go. I got the feed here on my phone now for LCJ Live. Send in your questions and your comments about what you think about this box office surprise upset. Now, Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, also a little lower than expected with $10.4 million coming in third. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It with $10 million in fourth. So 4 movies, almost the same exact amount of money this weekend is actually not bad. It really is not bad. Cruella also with $6.7 million. What's up, Brian? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. Cruella was 6.7, so a decent top 5 this weekend, but everybody's a little bit lower. Quiet Place a little bit higher than expected. So in breaking it all down, here are the reasons why I believe In the Heights has underperformed so far. Number one, Warner Brothers did a ton of free screenings. I went to a screening of this movie on Mother's Day. It was free. It was through Regal. It was one of hundreds that Warner Brothers did that day. In Regal theaters, AMC theaters, other theater chains around the country. Then, they did another batch of free screenings just this past weekend through AMC mostly, and they were sprinkling in more over the last 5-6 weeks. Not even the pay nationwide ones, and sometimes Warner Brothers hooked up with Fandango on those in the BC before COVID era, but these were all free screenings, so it helps the theaters with the concessions, but not actually the movie with money. Warner Brothers was counting on, I guess, word of mouth when it came to In the Heights, and that if people went to these free screenings and told their friends, hey, you gotta go, maybe there was a little of that, but also maybe you're not going to go yourself a second time and this time actually pay money. So I'm glad I got to see In the Heights early. I really am. But I think Warner Brothers overdid it on the free screenings. This movie is also almost 2.5 hours long, and I've always said this. Quiet Place is only about 95 minutes. This movie, In the Heights, is 2 hours and 23 minutes long. Longer movie, fewer show times in each theater. You're not going to get as many in per screen, especially with the theater attendants now having to clean in between each showing more than they ever had to do before. So 2.5 hours does not help. This movie is also on HBO Max. In the Heights is part of the Warner Brothers plan for most of the movies this year where you can watch it at home. But here's the interesting thing. Do you want to be at home right now? Because here in the Northeast, we've had a beautiful weekend. Except for Friday night. But a very nice Saturday, and today looks to be great, and people want to get outside. They want to enjoy the great outdoors. They want to play sports. They want to take part in barbecues and gatherings and events. There were a lot of proms and graduations this weekend that took up a lot of people's time instead of wanting to see a 2.5-hour movie and go to the theater and pay money and drive to the multiplex. So that also hurt this movie, I think. I also think that not all musicals are mainstream. A lot of people just don't like musicals at all. In the Heights is a film from Lin-Manuel Miranda. He was the mastermind behind Hamilton, of course the mastermind behind this show when it was on Broadway. Lin-Manuel Miranda has some appeal, but it's more liberal than conservative, not to really get into politics, but it's true. He was in Mary Poppins Returns, which was a musical and made a lot more money than In the Heights probably will, but I think people on both sides of the aisle went to Mary Poppins Returns because that was an established brand. It was a long-awaited sequel. Lin was not the star of that movie. I think some people are going to skip In the Heights simply because they may not be fans of Lin-Manuel Miranda and his political views. That, I think, hurt it. Should have been a Christmas movie, says Brian, to come out at Christmas time. Yeah, but would it have been last Christmas instead of Wonder Woman 1984 from Warner Brothers, or would it be this Christmas coming up? West Side Story is going to be this Christmas, so that's interesting. Now, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I saw Friday night, I think also shook up this entire box office this weekend because The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard from Lionsgate, which is one of the 2 or 3 worst movies I have seen this year. It is a terrible film. It doesn't open until officially this Tuesday night, but Lionsgate said we're going to do Friday night and Saturday night nationwide pay preview screenings of Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Lionsgate has not released the numbers yet on how these movies, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, did on Friday and Saturday night, but I can tell you that my showing was packed to as much capacity as it could be. We're at 33% still here in the state of New York. And at the theater I went to, every possible seat when it came to that 33% was filled, including with kids. There were a bunch of 10-year-olds who went to Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard Friday night because they like Ryan Reynolds from the Deadpool movies and the snarky nature of that. They may not have even seen the first Hitman's Bodyguard movie, but they wanted their parents to get them into this R-rated movie to go see Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. So because that did well, and it took those kids away from Peter Rabbit 2, from Even a Quiet Place, from Cruella, from Spirit Untamed, which made $2.5 million this weekend, and it's up to $10.9 million after 10 days. Because Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard did well, I would assume, around the country Friday and Saturday, that it took away from even more money A Quiet Place could have made, more money The Conjuring could have made this weekend. So a lot of factors going into In the Heights not doing as well as expected. I think Warner Brothers has to look at it and say, you know what, we've done all right this year. We can take a little bit of a loss on this. We'll come back strong with Space Jam 2, A New Legacy in July, and the new Suicide Squad movie in August should do pretty well. What's up, Mr. Sean Sullivan? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. So they're going to take a little bit of a loss. Now, I've already seen some of the comparisons to Greatest Showman. Greatest Showman started out low at Christmas time 2017, and then it made a lot more money. It started out with about, $9 million, and then it totaled 175. The thing about The Greatest Showman is, it is more mainstream. It's Hugh Jackman. It is about the circus. It had Michelle Williams. It had the catchy songs. It had Zac Efron and Zendaya in it. A lot of star appeal for younger people to go see that movie. This film, they're trying to get these actors to be stars. Anthony Ramos and Corey Hawkins and Melissa Barrera and the entire cast. A very likable cast, and I've been saying that the last 5 weeks, but they're trying to get them to become stars. You already had stars in Greatest Showman. So I don't know if In the Heights is going to have a lot of legs over the next several weeks. It may until Fast and Furious comes out, so it may get another week of that. Same thing I would say for Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Now, Sony decided to move it up to June 10th instead of June 17th because they wanted another week before Universal puts out Boss Baby 2 on July 2nd. So Peter Rabbit is going to have the family money until Boss Baby 2 comes out. And with kids still in school in a lot of places around the country, believe it or not, until the 24th or 25th of June, Peter Rabbit 2 may not get a boost until at least a week or maybe 2 weeks from now. So we'll have to see. Bednar, thanks for being here on LCJ Live as we break down a very interesting box office this weekend. In limited release, Meet the Blacks 2 made $1.1 million. It actually did pretty well. Queen Bees, $328,000. 12 Mighty Orphans, just in theaters in the state of Texas, $254,000. It's going to go nationwide this Friday. I have seen 12 Mighty Orphans, and I'll have my rapid review of that tomorrow. Spiral with $305,000. It's up to $23 million total. And Raya and the Last Dragon just crossed the $54 million mark here in the U.S. Should have released Peter Rabbit at Easter time. Yeah, I know. I bet Sony's kicking themselves that they should have. Though $10 million is not a disaster. It's more than what Raya opened to for Disney. It's more than what The Croods opened to for Universal in the 3-day. Not as much as Tom and Jerry did back in February. H. Barber 17, what summer movie are you looking forward to the most? I've seen several that are coming out later this summer. What am I looking forward to? Space Jam 2 could be fun. Black Widow, Jungle Cruise. Looking forward to those. Looking forward to Reminiscence, Hugh Jackman. Gotta check that out. There's more family movies, animated movies. Paw Patrol the movie. You know, it could be fun. I think it could. I've got some family members who love Paw Patrol. That could be fun. And Yeah, we've still got some big ones on the way. We absolutely do. Hotel Transylvania 4 as well, Transformania. That is what now Sony is really counting on, because they have stated, look, we want Hotel Transylvania 4 to be a theatrical release without question. They're counting on that for July 23rd. Now, a movie that was supposed to be theatrical release that is now just on Disney Plus this Friday, except for the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood, is Luca. What'll be interesting is if Disney decides to release the box office results for Luca at the El Capitan next weekend, and could it actually do well enough to make it into next weekend's top 10? I hope they release the figure, because we're all going to want to see what Luca does at the El Capitan. I have seen Luca. It is a sweet movie with a very strong final act. New LCJ Q&A podcast episode and AnimationScoop.com Q&A tomorrow with director Enrico Casarosa and producer Andrea Warren, all about the latest Disney Pixar animated movie. Thank you to Italy, Los Angeles for some goodies, for some scrumptious treats the other day. So yeah, Luca this Friday on Disney Plus at home. Will families want to watch Luca at home? Would they rather have wanted to go to the theater to see Luca? We'll see how those Disney Plus numbers are. Also, new on streaming this weekend, coming up is Fatherhood with Kevin Hart, which I watched last night, the 100th movie that I have seen so far in 2021. 100 movies, 100 new releases. Doesn't count any old classic movies. 100 new 2021 releases I have seen so far this year. I saw the 100th movie last year on July 28, which was An American Pickle with Seth Rogen. So June 12 versus July 28, I'm about a month and a half early on getting to 100. Now, also new this week coming up, Rita Moreno's new documentary, which I have seen. Not a huge fan of it. Also, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which comes out Tuesday night. If you want my review of that, go right now to lights-camera-jackson.com. Siberia, I'm going to check that out. Willem Dafoe's new movie comes out this Friday at home. Also, The Space Between. I'm looking forward to this. Paramount putting this on VOD and digital on Tuesday. Kelsey Grammer's a rock singer. I got to see this movie. Space Between. That comes out on Tuesday. So several at-home options and one new theatrical option this week in The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, though Rita Moreno, more of a limited release, and 12 Mighty Orphans expands from where it's already been in the state of Texas. So a lot to look forward to. Any questions or comments, send them in here on LCJ Live. If you're just joining us, A Quiet Place 2 back on top as your number one movie in America with 11.7 million after losing to The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It last weekend. Quiet Place Part 2 now becomes the first movie to earn more than $100 million since the return of the theaters. It's up to 109. The first Quiet Place made 188. So a bit of a ways to go for Quiet Place Part 2 to match that. I don't think it will at this point. If it makes $7 million next weekend, for the next, 3, maybe 2, it could make a run at 140, 145, 150 they would be happy with 150. It's going to take a little bit to get to 150. Unless it gets a boost over 4th of July or leading up to that. Because again, we're just 2 weeks away from Fast and Furious 9. And that's been doing a lot, making a lot of money overseas. And here in the U.S., it's probably going to make a lot of money. Though the reviews have been mixed so far in Fast and Furious 9. So people who may be hesitant on wanting to see it, they may not want to. We'll have to see. I'm looking forward to it, though. The Fast and Furious movies, for the most part, have been all right. I wasn't a huge fan of Fate. Furious 7 was so-so. I liked 6. Fast and Furious 6 was good. So we will see. What's the first movie that's going to reach $1 billion post-pandemic? Avatar 2? Bednar says. Are the Avatar movies actually going to come out? That's one of the ones where it's like, is it actually going to happen? Are they going to happen? I don't know. I still truly don't believe that these Avatar movies are going to be released in the immediate future. I don't. It's just, it's one of those, they threw a dart at the dartboard and picked some dates and they keep pushing them back and back and back. And I don't know. We'll see it to believe it. It's one of those for Avatar 2. And talk about a movie, I mean, they're talking about In the Heights with a ton of promotion. Talk about a movie that's going to have a ton of promotion behind it. Now with Disney involved, oh my gosh, you're going to see Avatar 2 everywhere. People are going to be annoyed with how much they're going to see Avatar 2. What's interesting is I was reading this article about Space Jam 2, which comes out on July 16th, so we're still a little over a month away from it. And that Warner Brothers, now coming off of this, wants a win, and they're going to put a ton of marketing behind Space Jam 2, which is also debuting on HBO Max. But will people want to see it in the theater? And it opens July 16. LeBron's out of NBA competition for the rest of the year. And you've got the Looney Tunes fandom. You got the people who love the first Space Jam movie who are going to want to see this. But will they be overwhelmed by the amount of marketing that has already begun and will continue for the next 5 weeks? That's a big question. We will have to see. But yeah, Avatar 2. We'll see if Avatar 2 happens. Yeah. But we've got In the Heights and Peter Rabbit 2 almost even. It was getting close to a battle between whether Peter Rabbit could actually overtake In the Heights. Maybe when the actual results are released tomorrow, we could see a total flip-flop and shift from your top 4 movies. Again, your top 4 movies, 11-7, 11-4, 10-4, and 10. It's all very close to each other. And in the old days, BC, before COVID, some of these movies really might have flip-flopped. I mean, it's a very close call. So we will see. Maybe tomorrow with some more numbers things will change. But as of now, Paramount and John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are celebrating today. Though Emily's friend from Mary Poppins, Lin-Manuel Miranda, probably isn't right now. And John M. Chu, director of Crazy Rich Asians for Warner Brothers, a movie that I saw a week before it opened, back in August of 2018. They did Wednesday night, week before, paid screenings nationwide. And that's how I saw Crazy Rich Asians. But that movie still made a lot of money. It had legs. It ended up with, I think, $160, $170 million domestically. Yeah, it had a very strong showing at the box office. So we'll have to see if In the Heights does. But I'm kind of convinced that it's not going to have that same momentum that Crazy Rich Asians did. When we're back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern for a Father's Day episode of LCJ Live, we'll see how Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard does. It's got a 5.5 day opening on Tuesday night, going all the way to Sunday night. Plus, how's Lionsgate going to add in the Friday and Saturday night numbers? It could be a big open for that movie. And we'll preview Fast and Furious 9 and some other big entertainment headlines in the world of television and movies. Follow me on Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson, Facebook, LightsCameraJackson, and that website is lights-camera-jackson.com. Tuesday, you'll have my thoughts on the Tribeca Film Festival animated shorts, curated by Whoopi Goldberg presentation. I'll have my thoughts on those. And if you want to go to animationscoop.com, I got some cool pieces up with the director of Blush, Joe Mateo, an animated short coming to Tribeca. Director of Clay Dream, this great new documentary on Will Vinton from director Mark Evans. And AnimationScoop.com also has my new interview with Peter Rabbit 2, the runaway director Will Gluck. So check those out there. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching LCJ Live. And looking forward to Luca review, says Brian. I'm not going to do a formal Luca review, but I will say it is a sweet movie with a strong final act, nice animation. It's fun, it's positive, it's upbeat. It's got a lot of emotion to it. Parts of it remind me of classic Pixar in a sense. But check out that podcast episode with the director and the producer tomorrow. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. I'm LCJ. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive. Support the theaters. Bye-bye.